Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I'm going to be talking about the brand new movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2, starring Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, and Jim Carrey. When Dr. Eggman and his friend Knuckles appear on Earth in search of the Master Emerald, a power capable of destroying the world, Sonic and his team are forced to fight them to save the world. Starting off with the cast of Sonic 2, I think that Ben Schwartz as Sonic is much better in this movie. I thought that in Sonic 1, a lot of his more heroic line delivery felt very corny, and I think here it's much more improved. Ben Schwartz continues to bring that sort of childlike wonder to the character that really sells Sonic as a fun main character that family audiences can get behind. Idris Elba, who plays Knuckles in Sonic 2, is also really good. He also brings this sort of almost childlike feeling to the character of Knuckles, which works really well. I think that the contrast between Idris Elba's cool voice mixed with almost an emotionally young and undeveloped character, I think works really well, and I really like how Idris Elba kind of played the character of Knuckles here. While they're good, and I will say pretty much everyone else is pretty solid here, I will say that Jim Carrey was a little bit disappointing in Sonic 2. He was 100% the star of the show in the original Sonic, and here, I feel like he's just not as funny. I'm not sure if it's a script problem, where I feel like it wouldn't be, because I think he would be given a lot of chance to improvise, but honestly, he just wasn't very funny here. He still brought the same Jim Carrey energy behind it, but his lines, and maybe even some of his delivery, just didn't make me laugh like it did in the first one. Lines like, "I see you've taken a lover" from the first one, they're gone here, and they're just, I don't know, I just didn't love his character as much as I did in the first one. I think the plot of Sonic 2, especially for the first 2/3 of the movie, feel a little bit dull. And I think that's partially because the character focus, who we're focusing on during the movie, feels a little bit frayed. For a Sonic movie, I think we spend quite a bit too much time away from Sonic, or at least Sonic and Eggman, the villain. I think especially in the first 2/3 of the movie, the plot just kind of doesn't quite work together cohesively. There are some plot points that, when you think about them, don't logically make sense. And you'll see what I mean when you watch it. I think the first 2/3 of the movie felt a little bit frayed to me overall. Like Sonic 1, the movie is funny at times, but I do think that the humor doesn't quite hit as well as it does in the first one. I think that the humor is much more focused on more absurdist kind of style. And to me, while some of that was quite funny, I think overall it hit less, and it certainly didn't bring the same charm that the first movie had. There are certainly still some funny sequences, but a lot more of the humor didn't hit, which is partially because I think Jim Carrey isn't as great as Eggman here, but I think overall the movie just isn't written as funny, or at least in a style of humor that I found very funny. The effects are solid in Sonic, just like in Sonic 1. However, I do feel that there are a few points in the movie where the characters definitely do feel animated, in the sense that it doesn't feel like if Sonic or Knuckles or one of those characters existed in real life, they would be doing this motion. I think there's a few times in the movie where they kind of do this pose, and it just doesn't feel like something that they would actually do in the situation. I've been an animator for nearly 10 years, so it might just be nitpicking, but I definitely noticed that, and it stuck out to me in this one in comparison to the first one. There are also definitely a few more minor effects like snow or some small explosions that also definitely felt quite fake to me. Don't get me wrong, the movie has much more effects than Sonic 1 does, so I understand, but the CGI definitely stuck out to me more in this one than it did in the first one. The movie is quite fun, but I think the biggest issue for me is that there are entire big sequences that could be totally avoided by Sonic. And this also stuck out to a friend who watched the movie as well, and we were talking about it. There are multiple scenes where Sonic could easily avoid huge portions of the movie if he just ran. Because in the first movie, we literally see him stop time for 3 minutes and do all of these things. And in this movie, there's multiple sequences where huge plot points could have been avoided if he had used a fraction of that power. And I just think that they could have set it up in a way where there were reasons why Sonic couldn't really use his power in those scenes, because it just really didn't make sense. The same goes for Tails. I think that there are multiple scenes where Tails and Sonic could easily get out of situations if they just used a fraction of their power and speed. As I said before, I didn't really love Acts 1 and 2. I think they felt a little afraid. I didn't love the humor in them. However, Act 3 has absolutely killer action with really cool action design, character design, and I think the final fight in Sonic 2 largely makes up for some of the disappointments earlier in the movie. It's got some really killer action with some really good crowd pleaser moments as well. To me, the great Act 3 sort of rounds out the somewhat disappointing Acts 1 and 2 to make it a comparable experience in overall quality to the first one. Even if I would say the original is much more consistent in how good it is, as well as Eggman being a lot better in the first. I'm going to give Sonic 2 +2. So what did you think of Sonic 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.